spy. The great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Ar, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
Mm-hmm. And right away there's an aether current. We now stand at the threshold of Dravania. The path to Som-Ar will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest's branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead, and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here, but I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Marchamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival, and he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections? Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do it before Ishgard burns. Estinian generally being like, oh, I don't like you, you work with the dragons. Jump on the Fall Guys mount and have a little ride. Now that we're here, we can use the Aetheryte and attune it as our home point so that we don't have to. Or do I? No, I should be fine. I shouldn't accidentally fall into any particular worrying positions where I might die. Yet. Hi, Machamp. Well, damn my eye and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh ho, and if it ain't the loveliest ale. It's been too long, girl. That it has, Machamp, that it has. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Som-Ar. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while, and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course, stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I am not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did you say I'll not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering calum trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And, as you'd expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Now, I know it won't stop your sail here, but dragons ain't the only thing you'll need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. Alright, this is the area where I get the set of hunting looking gear. some bad news. It's just one for an Aethernet. An Eighth Current, sorry. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you. The bloody Gnath. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megalocrab and taught that thing how to walk on two legs. They never used to stray far from their hives out of fear of the dragons, but they've gotten a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties for Marns in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Dravanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more, by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'll be closer to the Gnath's home territory. We're getting close to the first primal fight of the expansion. Even though we've already seen Bismarck, we're kind of ignoring him for now. So it seemed that much has changed in Dravania. The Gnath were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here? In Dravania? Aye. 'Twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone, and I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon Hraesvelga. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Merchamp found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees and nursed me back to health, and in Tailfeather I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying these Gnath were once a peaceful people. Peaceful will not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, they were even able to trade with them. We were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed, then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through all the underbrush of some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Solmal and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest, and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there, we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Solmal, shall we? This smooth route is not going to go how they want it to. Level 52 enemies around, they're the same level as I am. The Bandersnatch. The annoying thing is I don't remember the C.S. Lewis poem about the Bandersnatch. Otherwise I would regale you all with it, but I do not remember it. Oh. Hello, marching steel drone. Closer than I would like. Oh right, I was meant to come the other way out of town and then round. But I took the shortcut out of town and ended up just like having to backtrack on myself a little bit there. want to try and get past the first primal fight of this area if I can. Oh, we both launched a fire 3 at each other, but theirs hit me before mine hit them, and then therefore mine got cancelled, annoyingly. Da, 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 da. Ba, da, ba, 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 da, 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 da. Oh, it was about to cut into the actual music and then I walked into a fate. Oh. I was looking for the NPCs and the NPCs are not what I was actually searching for. Oh, could have stayed there. My chocobo stunned it. Matilda did a good job. There we go. Should we chance to meet Marchamp again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Gnath, I doubt I would be standing here. Amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian? The style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have scholar's eyes, Master Alphino. This structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this is evidence of our harmonious past. I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honour of your Dravanian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. Stubborn fool. How desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Tegan, pray reason with these two. The truth of the past will be revealed. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Tegan's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinian. You would have me keep my counsel until Tegan's visions confirm the truth. Very well, but bait me not. Our meeting with Hraesvelgr will likely provide the catalyst Tegan's gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. I could start dressing up into a more open outfit for black mages. Spy you the 3 great towers to the west. Ishgard's known them as Annex Shrine. The place serves as a roost for Hraesvelgr's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Somal, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the Gnath. Let us survey the approach to their towers. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. Yeah, we'll jump on the Guiber again. Let's ride around on our little dragon while we go over to the big dragons. "'Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Gnath's soldiers." Marchant did not exaggerate then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragons so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Gnath muskets. There is no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. I'm sure the Azure Dragoon could take down half a dozen Gnath. Oh, there's more. Oh, there we go. Oh, let's drop someone back by the entrance. By clearly went right past them and didn't spot them. I take no pleasure in killing the Gnath. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed you to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, dragoon. On my word to the warrior of light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then. Vidofnir.
Tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Gnath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight.
And she tells her all about the Gnath and the various things.
His brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Yeah.
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
That's called starting fights, Estinian.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sire's will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hrisvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing.
So they mentioned in lore that you can hear the echo allowed Ysael to hear Hrisvelgar's voice. The same with Shiva. The same with me. Alphino can't hear dragons. I assume Estinian can hear dragons because he's the wielder of the Eye of Nidhogg, and therefore is connected to a dragon. So what does Alphino think's going on here? Like, a dragon just lands and then we all just stand talking at it. And he's just there like, I assume this is going well.
Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Gnath's god.
The Gnath have summoned a primal.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gnath have a god that they've just been like, yes, Bug Lord.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed?
Yeah. Kill gods for sport.
'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
Nothing idle about it. We kill gods on the regular. Much like I've technically killed multiple dragons already.
Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
I do like this primal fight though. It is a cool one. So the Gnath have summoned their god, and thus is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge anew the peace between man and dragon. But what a fool! What a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Enough, enough, I say. If the Gnath have truly brought forth their deity from the aether, we must face it together or watch our hopes fall apart. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. But ere we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies, you are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marchamp. He knows more about the Gnath and their culture than most. Okay. He knows about bugs. Yeah, we'll keep flying around on the Shadow Weaver. Not flying, but running. How did I hit a tree as soon as I blinked? Deary me. Can I do just half up from this side? I think I can. I just can't get out of Tailfeather from this side. This side. I'm a champ. Oh, back already, are we? Ah, met the Gnath, did you? And what is it you'd like to know? Summoned a primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about the Gnath religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, they never seem to much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves, if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would a Gnath consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two. But seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You'll want a good-sized jar of land-trap nectar, a basket of calamtree fruit, and, always a Gnath favourite, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of these forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alphino's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meal. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nanka that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark the spot on your map. You've been most kind, Master Marchamps. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks, and reconvene at the trading post. I shall need a... doesn't even say the word shall. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. Rotten? How am I going to go and specifically find a rotten Nanka egg? I've hit the point where I need to keep munching on snacks in order to keep myself awake, because I am very sleepy for some reason. So, excuse the rustling for the moment. I'm probably going to be munching snacks while playing, so I might try to mute myself perhaps. Just that you don't have to keep listening to me rustling about. was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without your shale's help. Do you have the Nanka meat? I think so. Splendid. I shall put this within Astilion's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Gnath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings in at the trading post, as instructed. Were I of the Gnath, I think I would be suitably impressed. What has he made? Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourselves, Master Alphino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Tippy-tappy, 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 tippy-tappy. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Land trap nectar, Calum tree fruit, and Nanka flesh. What delectable foods you have brought for us. Our meagre existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. Oh no. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. Is that what the rotten egg was for? To make it smelly so the dragons don't come down, because they think you're all dead. And they're not scavengers. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to our chosen leader in words, for we are Vath. We are the non-mind. He's got like a beard and moustache. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honoured Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I are in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Gnath's god, of the god of the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind? These are the Gnath who reside in the main colony. Yes, they are one, connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren, and with spear and spell and musket the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled battle with my kinsman. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy prey. Thus did the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed men. The One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Gnath lands, and ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. We'll go with that one. Oh, I did not mean to start that. That's a random side quest, and I'm not going to be doing random side quests. I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at grave cost to the land. I reason that it is necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Gnath. They summon their deity with no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a sign of the seventh dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Gnath, as you so rightly put it. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphino, a being of whom we know naught. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to her death? No, You have the right of it, Stenian. 'Twould seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me, Tegan. I do not fear my duty. Tegan need not face this foe alone. Like her, I am blessed with the Echo's protection, and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides, or how to challenge it, unless you mean to pray until it appears. Astinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath and learn how best to secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, we may be of assistance. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. Oh, Alphino. Yep. We are Vath. We are the non-mind. We do not hear the One Mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. Put this idea from your minds, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, then he will have your souls. Surely you are not so generous as that. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. Yeah. You are generous hunters, yes? Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one or? We are very fond of Nanka flesh. Yes, the meat of a Yes, the meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. Go off and get more Nanka flesh. Should be not too bad. Doable at least. We Vath do enjoy our Nanka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet? Another gift for the Vath? So unexpected. Yes, you will have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the One Mind are enmeshed by the Overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Gnath, and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our god undetected is all but impossible. The Vatha want to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I am beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. From what I understand, the king-like Overmind sits at the centre of Gnath society, and its presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without need of word or gesture. These Gnath, the ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the primal was summoned. Those who reside in the smaller hive, however, are the Vath, or the Non-Mind, who, for reasons that yet escape me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects their Gnath counterparts. Thus are the Vath ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions, and of the nature of their own god. And of the nature of their own god. In summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vath did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Gnath will bring us to their deity and make an offering of our souls. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Gnath, surrender yourself into what might generously be termed as termed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? Aye, that fairly well describes my plan. You would join me in this endeavour, will you not, Tegan? Judging by the great risks you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not a woman to err on the side of caution. Would that I could fight at your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alphino. Then it is settled, Tegan. You and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance to the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance, and then allow them to take us prisoner. Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Time to go disrupt some Gnath. There we go, just about. Oh god. We don't have any potions. I'm going to get killed again. I didn't have my chocobo summoned. Didn't have food active. Just was not prepared for that fight in the slightest. I just kind of ran in and threw a couple of spells around and then got downed. Fighting enemies at my own level when I have no healer around is kind of tricky. Right, I need to teleport. Dravania, Falcon's Nest. And then we go again. Oh, it wasn't Falcon Nest, it was Tail Feather. That was silly. Why did I teleport to Falcon's Nest? There we go. Teleport to the correct place, rather than be silly. Yes, summon my chocobo. I I now have my food active, so that should be okay. And ride back round to try and defeat these Gnath and get them to take me in. So, we've made some reasonable headway. We've completed one map, I guess technically one and a bit maps, of the Heaven's Ward main expansion. There's still a lot left to do, because we've got to defeat spoilers. Defeat the One Mind, then go and defeat Bismarck, because we did already find out about that. And there's a bunch of the other bits and pieces from the other maps. Okay, food active. Minion here. They always stood down here waiting for me. The Overmind must by now be aware of our intrusion. Let us press on into the hive and ensure that we have our host's undivided attention. That's what I was doing, and then I realised that you were still stood down here. Oh gosh, I started a fight again that I can't really win. Okay, I did manage to win. Matilda got beaten though, which is very sad. I'll have to resummon Matilda. There we go. Try and heal myself up a little bit. Whew. This is tough. fighting enemies that are almost the same level as me, but multiples of them. There we go. Whew. Try this again without being attacked by several Gnath as I try to run through. That should be sufficient. If we did not have our host's full attention before, we must surely have it now. Our audience with the Primal may be granted soon after our capture. Pray advise me once you have steeled your mind for the battle to come. I mean, we're already in the thick of it. You're prepared then? As much as I will be. There was a new ring I could have equipped. Hold here, Tegan. When next the Gnath come, we offer no resistance. Tappy tap 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 tap. Surrender, intruders. There is no escape. Enough. We surrender. We throw ourselves upon the mercy of your God. They seem eager to proceed. Good. When they take us before their lord, pray leave matters to me. If what I know of summoning rituals holds true, I shall be well placed to act. Mark the sound of the river rushing through the ravine behind us. Passing loud, is it not? Imagine the noise would serve to mask our escape should we need to withdraw temporarily. But you are prepared, are you not? I do hope so. If I were to be dragged away for sacrifice while you were haggling over the price of potions, I should not be amused. Yeah, I'm going to go back to town and do stuff. No, I'm being silly. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Now we have but to wait.
Oh. This one's got a staff.
O Lord Ravana, master of the sacred blades, wrath of the colony, conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence.
He comes.
Oh, Ravana's so cool.
All strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen.
O glorious general, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood.
These feeble fleshlings dared to invade Gnath lands.
So,
Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons.
Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity. Wherefore should the glorious conquest of the Gnath concern thee so, Elysian? Mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fareth poorly, and thou art desirous of a pact.
We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana. Only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Gnath risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war?
Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight. Long have my children waited, gathering their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict. The Gnath would see the Dravanians slain, and their territory secured, and by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose.
yep.
As I feared, your very existence is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Gnath.
Yep.
And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil.
I see how.
I, Ravana, fourfold master of the blade, do accept thy challenge.
Ravana, fourfold master of the blade.
I emerge the victor. I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept?
I do. And I believe the first bout is mine.
Oh. I'm gonna watch Ravana fight Shiva. Is she gonna steal all his crystal energy? Primal fight!
What is this? A god clad in flesh?
Is aught amiss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust.
He's huge in comparison to Shiva.
Thine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy ruse will but add to mine enjoyment.
Um. He's just unrelenting. Nice. It's not gonna hold him though. Yeah, that didn't work out well for you, did it?
I thought myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals?
Well, Zale's part of Ravana's army now, I guess.
Be thou god or maid, thou art nothing to me. And what of thee, mortal? Art thou warrior or craven?
I'm a mouse, but I'll fight you. I am no craven.
A warrior then? Good! Mayhap thou wilt provide more sport than thy feeble companion.
Probably. What? Did he just leave? Good, provide more sport. Thought we were about to fight. There we go. That's the unlock. Let's see if I can get in fairly quickly on my Black Mage. If not, I will swap over to my Conjurer and go in as a healer. Ooh. Durability on some of my pieces of gear is notably low. Hi Sansu! Welcome to the stream. I have just reached Ravana and just watched the cutscene. Oh, I mean, help queuing would always be appreciated. I'm just kind of standing. Like, I could swap to a conjurer. But it only has it. Oh, it's a 15-minute timer. Yeah. No, thank you very much. You very much did not need to, but, well, I always appreciate it. Yeah. These are me-sized houses. Oh, this one is not. This one is big. In that case, I'll withdraw from the duty finder. Should I swap over to Conjurer? Probably would make it quicker. I don't know if I have. I don't have your character on this character. If that makes sense. I don't think. My friend list is very bare. I'm in Raiden. Still in Raiden. Oh, right, not. We weren't on Raiden, were we? I'll assume the friend request is from you. With a level 100 white mage. Hooray! Invite to party. And then we just launch into Podcast Dark. Less than 5 minutes now. That cut down a whole 10 minutes. And only took us like 1. So, hooray! Or 3 minutes and cut off 10 minutes. Or cut off a lot more than 10 minutes if it's going to fire already. Thank you so much for helping me get in. And I assume with your assistance as a very good healer that I know you are, we're going to easily sweep through Ravana. As long as we don't have silly tanks. Which sometimes we might, but unlikely. You're a very rusty healer. That's okay, we're fighting someone, the unbending steel, therefore we want a lot of rust. I love that he re-summons himself at the start of the fight. It's like, you were here a second ago. But then it makes sense for the whole, like, you can do this at any time, and therefore you can just come back and he gets re-summoned. Don't remember this one. Oh, there's a whole bunch of mechanics that actually, it's the hard mode one. There's not that many mechanics as far as I'm aware. The extreme one, I remember there being a lot. Hit the big thing and the butterflies. Yep, that sounds about right.
To the song of ringing steel.
There we go. I absolutely love your outfit, by the way. Just standing next to you. I'm about as tall as your boots.
Furious as a blaze.
Oh, and it's... I can't teleport to him. That's annoying.
Feel my blades. Wilt thou yield? Take wing, ye souls of war!
Take wing, ye souls of war. That's the butterflies, right? Where are the butterflies? Oh.
Prepare thyself. Rejoice in the glory of combat.
Okay, will my mana ward last long enough for this animation? It totally did. Ah, I have the most health, other than one of the tanks who barely took anything. I stand gazing down to see. Ow. What a meanie. Oh, nice. We did it! Nice and easy.
Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor.
Victor.
I
vulnerable in death. Yeah, good job on the res. Those wave blasts really did a number on me. We did it! We beat Ravana. I almost called him something else, which would not have been correct. Ravana, the one mind, Lord of Bugs, Unbending Steel, Rose of War, I think that's another one of his titles.
Would that I had your skill in battle.
That's okay, I did have the mana ward up for the AoE thing, so I was a lot higher health than other people at that point, I think. But then obviously you started healing everyone else and then my health dropped, so don't even worry about it.
For all his savagery, I do not think Ravana one to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Gnath lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings.
Just the wreckage of this little arena.
Once more you achieve the impossible, bringer of light.
You got
But with
him!
every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, another voice is joined to the chorus, beseeching divine succor.
I was going to say, but that's how you can tell you're a good healer. You do like 6 moves and that's it. You're just like, I just drop a regen on everyone and then pop a mass heal or 2 and that's basically it.
At their bidding, warring gods will shake the firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos.
I maybe shouldn't have taken a bite of apple right while she was talking. Ah, yes, very interesting. Chaos, doom, yes, yes, yes. Nom, nom. Never since we first fought have I seen you draw upon the full extent of your power, and never from afar till this day. You were a marvel to behold, Tegan. Well, 'tis time we rejoined our companions. They will be eager to hear the tale, and continue our journey. They will. That's very true. Well, yeah, thank you for jumping in to help me. Because, yeah, that wait timer could have been a lot worse. And if it had been a long wait timer, I could well have just been sat there falling asleep, waiting to fire the Ravana battle. Yay! Well, I will be streaming again tomorrow at the same time with Final Fantasy again, but the likelihood is I will hit Bismarck during that, and maybe, if we're lucky, also reach some of the others. I can't remember which one comes after Bismarck. If it's actually Thordan, or if it's... Sorry, spoilers. Other things. I did not mean to spoil that. Sorry, people. Ignore what I said. You heard nothing. Why am I going this way? I need to go speak with Alphino first. I don't know why I needed to swap mounts to do that, but yeah. register that I'm not running the wrong way, so swap mounts and then carry on. Okay, good. As long as my spoiler was correct. Because I know you've... I was going to try and continue talking about it while not spoilering things, and I'm like, no, even like roughly hinting at it kind of spoilers the different primal fights. But we know about Bismarck. We know about Bismarck already, so I know Bismarck is the next one. It's just the ones after that. Hi, Alphino. You had fun just standing around. Tegan, Lady of Sail, thank the 12. Lord Ravana, you say? How curious that the Vath never mentioned his name. And you are quite certain he will keep his word? There was honour to his savagery. That we survived the encounter at all was a miracle. A miracle I must attribute to Tegan. Thank you all. Yep, you completely forgot that that was Estinian's outfit. The Azure Dragoon in full Nidhogg flair. Never did I doubt you, Warrior of Light. Unlike some, you were gone so long that Master Alphino here nigh lost his wits with worry, fretting like a maid for her sweetheart he was. Estinian, is that truly necessary? There he is in all his dark pointiness. Not truly necessary, but certainly true. What matters is that the primal is banished and our promise fulfilled. We should return to Vidofnir without delay. Lest you forget, this was but a means to secure an audience with the worm Hroesvelga. Nidhogg's minions will not be halted by idle chatter. Come now, we must make every moment count. So many edges, he'd make a Dark Knight blush. Exactly. He's even got like the stiletto, the bladed stilettos, but they're up the back of his calves instead of on his heels. And he's got them on his elbows as well, just like big old axe blades coming out of his elbow joints. You are unkind, Estinian. For all his experience and intellect, Alphino is still but a boy. Yeah, stop bullying the kid. Meanie. Hi, Alphino. You okay? Shall we be on our way to Annex Shrine, then? I would not have the dragons think that we have forgotten our bargain. Oh, also, I don't know if you remember, Sun Tzu, the Aether Currents. Do you remember how many Aether Currents were in each area in Heaven's Ward? Because I want to see if you can give me a number before I show you again. Like, without looking it up, how many do you think there are? Unless you've looked at it recently, in which case. Cheats. Or you'll already know the answer. Like 8. Because, yeah, there were the quest ones, and then there were the ones that you walked around and found. And some of the ones that you had to walk around and find were really difficult to find, weren't they? Well, not difficult. It was like you could follow the compass, but it was like the compass leads you to where they are, and then you're like, but where? And it would be like, oh, it's above you on this random shelf in this cliff face. and you have to do like a jumping puzzle to get up to them, or it would be like, oh, it's down this ravine here, and you actually have to go over this way into a cave, down into the cave tunnels, and then that brings you through the ravine, and the ravine is where the current is. It was like that sort of stuff. And then also the ones that you got from quests, which were their own separate group, because they've now dropped it down to 9 total. So there are 4 that you walk around and find, and 5 that you get from quests, one of which is the main story quest, 4 of which are side quests. Yeah. I don't think they've done it for all of them. You only remember that being a problem for you in Stormblood. Yeah, where it was a lot of like the, it's underwater. Go find it. It's like, oh. Is it up? Is it down? Who knows? It's somewhere. Oh. But yeah. So they've taken out like half of them, which are all the really difficult ones, because literally while I was going around, I spotted 3 of these 4 just next to the story missions. So I think they've taken out all the difficult ones, which is very silly. Yep. It's like up on this random cliff where the story doesn't take you. Just because we want you to go explore the map. And now it's like, we're not fussed if you go explore the map. It's there if you want to fly around it, but you don't have to go find the ability to fly. Thou art returned, little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the Gnath? Nay, my friend, we return in triumph. By Tegan's hand was the beastmen's god, Lord Ravana, laid low. In his overconfidence, the Primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat, a promise we believe we will keep. The Gnath shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain, then. How didst thou contend with his biting blades? By the particulars, but the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfil mine. Attend me, mortals. Hie you unto the deepest reaches of morn, and there shall you find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summit of Som-Al. You nearly gave us up a panic attack. What did you do? You're being silly. But be fairly warned, the minions of Nidhogg shall not likely suffer your presence on that sacred mount. By your struggles within the cavern, shall I judge your party's By your struggles within the cavern, I shall judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Fidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern of Morn is entered from the 2nd floor of the central tower. Let us begin the climb. Yep, very much just thanks, bye. Ride my own little dragon. So you're currently running the dishwasher and you heard the water being let out of it and for some reason thought that it sounded like the sizzling pans, so you were halfway to the kitchen before you realised it was running water. Oh no. Yeah, it's just that like the sound effect that you don't quite register, and so you're like, oh god, and you go rushing out there and then you're like, oh. Nope, that's just me hearing things or being silly or confusing myself. I've done that on plenty of occasions. Yep. Just titled Dragon Corpse. It's the Tyrannosauruses! I remember when I had one of these as a mount with all the little packs on its back. That was good fun. I'll end up getting it again at some point on this character. Well, a few drawbacks of noise cancelling headsets. Yep, no headset for me, just speakers. See, look. Right in the middle of the open, Aether Current. Yeah, the Eureka Dino. Very nice. Now the interesting part is this statue here looks very similar to the little altar that was in the basement of the farmstead, except that the side where Shiva was stood has been completely obliterated by dragonfire. Because in the basement it's like a lovely love story sort of thing with Hraesvelgr and Shiva, and here it's just Hraesvelgr burning everything, which is false history. Ella's in Erasure. Hi, Vidofnir. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Som Al Summit for thee and thy companions. Dragon. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter hath not seen visitors of your kind in nigh on 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. Why, you oversized handbag, don't you do the red glowy eyes at me or else. Yeah, Vidofnir, you heard Sun Tzu. They'll beat you up. I won't. They will. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place both. Wear you the minions of Nidhogg during your ascent, for 'tis certain they shall take great offence at your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power thou wieldst in check, lest it breed further despair. Yep. Estinian? The way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment. Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Tiamat herself is said to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our path shall feel the sting of my lance. Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we are come to parley a peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture, and 'tis for their sake that I go now to speak with Hraesvelgr. But I said nothing of Tiamat. Should the opportunity present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. I completely forgot he had his little, tie. Like little half tie, but folded weirdly at the top. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. And if we are to meet this with Hraesvelgr, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves, if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? That's right. Some all now accessible. Dungeon time. Dungeon time. To save on time, I might just do it with the NPCs. Insufficient item level. How dare you? I love the me, White Mage. Ysael, Oracle of Frost as a tank. Alphano, Academician. He's an Arcanist. I don't know why you've given him a weird title. He's an Arcanist. And then Estinian, funnily enough, Dragoon. It's like, yep, I'd expect nothing less from him. Woo, light party time. Come on, NPCs, what are we going? What are we doing? Fighting dragons? Climbing a mountain? We got this. I just hope that I can use the D-pad to select my NPC allies, because if not, then this is going to be really awkward. I can, that's okay then.
Away with you! Focus. Release!
I love that these two are just fighting, and Alphano's like, yes, focus, okay, go, and just like yammering away. Alphano's a yapper. The rest of us, solemn contemplation of our own deeds.
Focus. Release! Pull yourself together!
Alphano?
Much appreciated.
I wasn't paying attention, I was too busy talking about the random nonsense. About his silly little voice lines that he's got going on. No, Alphano, don't listen to Sanzu. You can keep talking. No, I bullied him into shutting up now. He's going to be silent for the rest of the dungeon. I don't believe that. I believe he'll start talking in a moment. Yep, there we go. Immediately talking again.
Shiva, aid me!
Somebody else said something. Ysael shouting about Shiva seems pretty standard, in all honesty.
Focus. Release.
It'll be fine, I've got plenty of flowers. Yeah, Estinian's just like
Focus.
doing the job. He's very much a consummate professional in the act of slaughtering everything. I also realised, didn't use my food. Yeah. Alphino should hang out with Estinian more. He'll definitely learn some stuff. Big plant, big plant.
Focus. Release.
Sorry, just because I've been watching him, that time that when he said focus and release, given that he was just like
Shiva, aid me!
he was prepping to move out of the way of an AoE and said focus, release, and then moved. It looked like he was focusing in order to run and was going like focus, release, and sprinting. And it's like, why? Some kind of weird anime character. What are you even doing?
Know your folly.
I do know my folly, Estinian, don't worry.
Shiva, aid me!
I was targeted by the attack, and that was my folly. Yeah, he does speak eventually, just in very limited amounts.
Away with you.
Oh, whoops. I forgot that was the reason that we dodge the yellow, or how we dodge the yellow, I should say. Yeah, I have macros set up for aero and stone to cast at target, or no, cast at target's target, or cast at target. In fact, I can show you the macros. There we go. My stone rain has the ability at stone, attacks target target, attacks target. And same with Windlash, it's aero, attacks target target, attacks target. And repose, just repose target's target and repose target. And that's literally I can just sit and stare at the tank all day. And then just be like, I'm just watching the tank and I can hit enemies. Because it will never target the tank. But then I have them set up like this so that when there is no tank, I can just use them normally. And because there's no target's target, because that would then be me, I become invalid as the target for my own spell, and so it targets the thing that I'm looking at as the backup option. It's what I do for my healer's attack spells, just because it's the easiest way to do it. And because I started on the first healer I played was Astrologian, so I had all of these. I didn't have macros up to the point where I hit Scholar, and then I was like, oh, I want to play a Scholar because that would be really fun and the fairies look really cute. And then I took Scholar and realised that I had to be clicking all over the place, because at that point I was playing with mouse and keyboard and not controller. So I made all these macros to be like, well, rather than having to click on things and like misclicking and like accidentally clicking on someone else and trying to heal them, like trying to heal the tank but misclicking and healing someone else, it's just easier for me to set up a macro and always be selected onto the tank, so that I never draw aggro to myself, because I only attack what the tank attacks, and I'm weaker than the tank. So the only way I draw aggro is if I'm spamming over healing. And then also that way I'm always selected to the tank, so that when the tank needs healing, I'm there to heal them. If someone else needs healing and the tank is fine, I can then come up to this list up here and just be like, watch these hotbars, and then click the name that's dropping. But now that I've swapped to controller, you can obviously do all of it with the D-pad going up and down the list. So you still just watch the list in the top left, but you can just kind of go up and down it using the D-pad. And for the most part, you can still just sit selecting the tank and not worry about enemies too much, which means you can focus more on healing. That's how I find it anyway. And that's it, because now I've swapped controller as well, so it's... Sorry, I did mention that, didn't I? Now that I've swapped controller as well, it does just make it easier to be like, I don't have to worry about anything and like weird selection things and like having to reach up to press my mouse to grab my mouse to then click on things. I can just be like fiddling around, doing random nonsense and just being like, yeah, I can just fight using the controller entirely and not have to worry about selecting too much. And when I'm like, oh, this person's dying, I quickly select them and jump back to the tank. And it's all nice and simple. But also at this level of the game, it's just very easy to be like, I don't actually need to heal that much, so I drop a regen here and there and then just use arrow and things. Oh, that was silly. Me saying I don't need to heal very much, immediately getting hit by an AoE.
Your guard is down.
Yeah, Astinian got a flanking attack. Well done, Astinian.
Focus. Release.
Zale got a little bit too far away from you there. That's the one downside with this macro, is obviously you need to be in range of both of your targets. So you have to be slightly closer if the tank is the other side of the enemy to you. But normally you want to be in range of your tank anyway, as a healer, so it's not a huge issue.
Focus. Release.
Yeah, it's just a useful way that I've found of doing it. And because most healers only have like 1 or 2 attacks, like when I was playing original Scholar, it had like 5 dot things, ruin 1, ruin 2. That was it. So I set up a huge macro for the dots, which was obviously every single dot targets target, then targets. And so it was a full list of like Bio targets target, bio target. Oh god, what were the other ones? Virus targets target, virus target. Miasma targets target, miasma target. And that sort of thing. So that I could have a full list of just like, I press one button and it runs down the list and goes, yep, that spell, that spell, that spell, job done. And on White Mage, I've literally got Arrow, because Holy always targets myself regardless, so I don't need to set up a macro for that. I just occasionally need to run inwards and drop Holy when I feel like it.
Know your folly.
Oh, I'm not close enough, am I? Oh, I am. Nice. I thought that had a shorter AoE range.
Away with you!
Oh, I do love watching Ysael be a tank and just be like, I use the Shiva like shockwave of ice spikes to kill things. Like the three of us are all here just using like very typical class moves, and then Ysael's like, I'm doing paladin moves, and then occasionally I just throw out one of Shiva's moves. And it's like, that's very cool. Like that. The big ice wave. Grabby claw dinosaur.
For the House of Levia!
Exactly. She's the vessel for a god. She can be extra if she wants to. Alphen, on the other hand, is being extra for the sake of being extra. I don't think he's earned it. Not yet, anyway. Zale, you appear to still be dying. I need to make it so that you're not doing that.
Focus. Release!
Nope. Just me. Just me.
Shiva, aid me!
Yeah, he is a teenager.
Taste my lance! Away with you!
I do like that every so often Asinian says something, and it's like, ooh. Asinian's decided that he's got words to say. Silly dinosaur. Pat, pat. I don't remember what the woad armour looks like. I'm also just gathering random pieces of it, so I don't think it's actually that helpful. I don't know if I'll have any of it that's useful at all. Deep Mountain Gallimimus. Such good music in this game. Even just like random little tidbits of random dungeon song. He keeps getting himself beaten up. He fears not the dragons. He just eats dragon fire. Ooh, almost leveled up though. To 57? I'm going up to 57. Kind of why I wanted to do this on my Black Mage, because then that could get a couple more levels, and it's only on 52, I think? 52, 53?
Focus. Release.
Just need to make sure I don't die. Being chased by a dragon. We're all good. Still got flowers left, so not even worried. That's it. The only reason Alphino got down right at the beginning is because I wasn't paying attention and forgot I was playing the healer. When I remember I'm playing the healer, I can normally get through relatively okay, unless we do massive pulls, then I struggle a bit. And that's more just a struggle to pay attention to everyone, so if people are just jumping all over the place and running around all over the place, it's like, need to make sure I don't miss any button presses. Tiaman, consort of Nidhogg, we beseech you, grant us safe passage. Oh, wasn't allowed to read that. As I thought, blind to reason like all the rest. If you would see our mission to its conclusion, you know what must be done. Such rage and rancor. There is truly no other way. Is there truly no other way? Nope. Tiaman wants us. Speak dead. Let's have a look at what. Ooh, I got a new ring. That's the only upgrade I got. then the other part, I guess, is if I really wanted, I could put rescue on my hotbar. And if I've got the tank constantly selected, then rescuing them is incredibly simple, because I would already have them selected. The alternative is you could set it up the other way, but then every single healing spell would need its own macro. And when you're fighting multiple enemies, it doesn't work as well. Yeah.
Away with you! Focus. Release!
One of them going to target her wings.
Know your folly.
Yeah, Astenias. Good, good. Oh gosh.
Focus. Release!
That's fine. It wasn't too bad.
Away with you! For the House of Levier!
Look, we are just fighting Tierman again. The wings are gone.
Away with you!
I was just sitting there with my mouth open, wasn't I? Too distracted by what I was doing. I was just like, Oh, also, it has hit 6 o'clock. So it's a good thing we just finished that dungeon. So, now that we have proceeded through Som-Al and gained the Ox Tongue, is the Ox Tongue? It is not, but we did get woad boots. New pair of shoes. Yeah, I'm gonna jump out of this dungeon, do the quick cutscene here, and then we're probably gonna call it for the end of the stream. I will be streaming at the same time tomorrow, 10 AM till 6 PM. The new schedule for the next week will be going up shortly after the stream. I do just need to finish off the last little bit of it, and then I will be posting it on the Burrow Discord, and probably also to Blue Sky as well. Those tend to be the two places that I post most things, but I will kind of like throw out feelers into various other groups as well. But my actual updates will go to my Blue Sky and basically the two socials that I've got below in the panels. So my Blue Sky and the Burrow Discord. Tegan? Yeah, we unlocked another one of our crystals. We're all good. We're recovering from whatever Hraesvelgar decided to do to us. It would seem Tyrman was the last. I sensed no other dragons nearby. You sure, buddy? What is happening? You sure, buddy? Nidhogg, he roars. He knows we are here, then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But that damned worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come the heart of the dragon's homelands, yet lies before us. He's literally carrying around a cursed item, because Estinian is an idiot. A vengeful idiot. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. O Saint Shiva, when will it end? Yep. Nidhogg has more reason to want to kill us all. Nice.
To the peak of Som-Ah, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands, floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years. They came.
I do like the little narrations for this zone. Or for these zones, I should say. It's been for all the Heavensward zones so far. When we've gone into them, it's just like the little announcer reads out our little entrance text of like, this is what this area is about, and she is here. It's like, yeah, getting me hyped to go to a new area. Yes, so thank you all very much for tuning in. I will quickly see who we can raid. Let's jump over to the Twitch stream. Who can we raid? Who's about? Who's got what on? Ooh, we've got a few options.